right. You always like jamming out to the intro, don't you?
Yeah, it's great, man. Reminds me of back in the 80s.
Hair band.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, welcome in. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. Bo's got a play for us that we'll probably start out with Bo's play, but been getting inundated with people asking questions lately about what to do now with PSA, longer turnaround times, higher cost. People are thinking that their gem rates are getting lower. Is PSA going to shut down? Do you flip wax? Do you sell raw? Do you what to do with Otani and Wemby? We're going to answer all those questions. We're going to discuss it today on today's show. So welcome in, buckle up. We'll get you out of here hopefully in normal time. There will be no plays at the end for me this week. So if you're looking to make some money, you'll have to use Bo's play. And we'll be back in a couple weeks with some more plays for you. Hey, Joel, welcome in. All right, Bo. Let's get everybody started with the one and only play of the week. What you're telling me ahead of time? What is your play?
Well, I was listening to a whole bunch of stuff about Michael Jordan, and I was doing some studying, and I was like, what's a cheap card that you'd go big time? It's kind of like winning the lottery, if you actually hit it. But what's a real cheap card that sells for a lot? And then I found the 1990 hoops. It's the gray one. It looks just like the 89, but it's white. I mean, it's gray instead of white, I think. Isn't that pretty much the same looking card? And they sell for about $3 to $5. I've actually bought one a couple days ago for $2.99 plus $1.32 shipping. And it looked great in the photo. They even had it listed at near mint, but we'll see when it gets here. But the 10s are $1,000. You got a 3% chance of hitting a 10. And the 9s are I see the sales going between 50 and 70. And that's a 33%, I believe, 35% shot at getting a 9. And then
that's the card right there you're talking about?
Yep, that's the card right there. 8's about $20. The grading fee is your biggest gamble there, because if you don't hit a 9 or a 10, you're out. You're losing money. But it's not like you're gambling a ton. It's kind of like going and buying a $30 lottery ticket, and just hoping for the best. But you got to, make no white on the corners, centered. No, I bought one that the photo looked great, on eBay the other day. We'll see when it gets here. These aren't plays, but I have two other things that might bring to people's attention. My magazine thing did not go well at all. I made like $60 off the 10.
What did it end up selling for?
Oh, it was like $209, something like that.
I did get that. I was with like 5 minutes to go. I was watching it and it was still at like 30 some bucks. And I thought, no.
And I sold a 9.8 on eBay for $400 like a month ago. So I would have been way better off just keeping it myself. She got off to a bad start, AZ Fudd. They weren't even starting her, and there was all this drama. She played great the other day.
She's coming around now.
Yeah. So I'm not going to send any more magazines to Golden unless I've got like a Michael Jordan 1990, something like that. Because I sold a 9.8 for $400, and here I sold the 10 for $208. They've got my AJ DeBonsa too. I sent that to them also, the 10, and the guy said that he was going to have it running during the NBA draft. So, hopefully that should do better, you would think. There were some magazines on that auction that went for a lot, but there was no interest in AZ Fudd. So I kind of learned a lesson there. I'd rather just put that on eBay and just be patient, But if you're looking for some stuff, there's a variety of World Cup previews for the Sports Illustrated that are coming out. This is the Argentina edition. I got 3 of them. That's they put Pulisic on the American one, and they got some kind of weird art on the Mexican one, and I forget what the French. There's a Mexican, French, Argentina, and USA one. I thought that the Argentina one with Messi was the best bet, so I got 3 of them. Also, I saw it on Facebook yesterday. I managed to buy 3 of them. The New Yorker magazine, that fancy kind of whatever. I've never read it, but the brand new New Yorker magazine that just came out has this real cool artistic thing with Jalen Brunson and then all the legendary Knicks going across the bottom. They've got it on Amazon. There's people on Amazon selling it. There's very few of them around. I don't think they carry that magazine at my local bookstore, but it's really cool, and I think that would probably be a good buy if you wanted to do the magazine thing. Just the New Yorker with Brunson. I think it came out like 2 days ago. You might have a hard time finding it at a store unless you're in New York. I don't really know, but so those are my plays and recommendations for today.
Nice. So that sucks about the magazine, but it's a learning experience, right? That's how we learn. Golden is not the place for. I guess $1,000 magazine would be considered low end. You got to have a $10,000 one to have Golden be the right place.
Yeah.
Probably.
I also think it was bad timing. Like if it would have went during the draft, it would have done better. It comes out when she stinked it up in the first few games, and maybe that's one reason why I didn't do well. But I should have just been patient with it.
All right, so today we're basically going to be doing a discussion. I've got, 6 or 8 questions that I have been getting inundated with my inbox on Instagram. I've been telling everybody just wait for the show and I'll answer all the questions there. So hopefully everybody gets their questions answered. I took the ones that were I only took questions that I had 2 or more people ask the same question of. So the onesies I've already answered. These are ones that I've had 2 or more questions from multiple different people. So the first one, probably the one I got asked the most is, do I think PSA is going to shut down, or do I think PSA should shut down like they did a couple of years ago? What are your thoughts, Bo?
It scares me of them shutting down for months. I think they're trying to prevent that. I'm trying to be positive that it doesn't happen. But I could see that there's definitely potential. And I think they got the law. There's I don't know. If you listen to that Boston guy on YouTube, he hates PSA, and he's talking
Boston
about
Card Hunter, yeah.
Yeah, there's all these lawsuits coming in and all this stuff, and it terrifies me. But who knows, man? I think we're going to get some drama for the next year or 2.
Yeah, it's self-inflicted. The hobby has done this. First of all, I am not sponsored by PSA, so neither is our show. So when all the haters start responding that I've got PSA tattoos on my arm or something, that is not true. But let's just get the facts straight. First of all, if anybody is to blame, it's not PSA, it's Fanatics. Okay. How does Fanatics play into the problem at PSA? Well, Fanatics promised when they bought out, when they took over and they bought Topps, and they said that they were going to 10x the hobby. They've done just that. They've probably more than 10x the hobby, right? Well, what happens when you 10x the hobby? All things associated with the hobby grow. And that goes for prices. So prices are going up on not only singles, but wax. They're going up for hobby boxes at Fanatics and Topps. It's supply and demand, people. I don't blame PSA for doing anything that they've done. When you hear people saying PSA isn't doing enough, right? Have you heard that? PSA should be growing. PSA should be hiring more people. PSA should be able to keep up. I don't know if people realize this or if they just like to talk out their buttholes or what, but I mean, just stop and think about this for a second. What other business can you think of, like PSA, that is a customer focused business that doubled the amount of output that they could do in a year without sacrificing quality, per se, and get ridiculed that they're not doing enough? What business can grow 2x in the course of 12 to 18 months and still not keep up? That's what's happening at PSA. This isn't a PSA problem. PSA has gone from 800,000 cards a month graded roughly 16 months ago to they're up to 2 million cards a month. That's almost 3x of where they were 16, 18 months ago when you go 800,000 to 2 million, and yet people are complaining. Folks, they're backed up because the Fanatics has 10x the hobby.
I think you can also
if the hobby got 10x, it's only normal to think that grading is going to 5x or 10x along with the hobby, right?
Yeah. I think you can also point the finger at TCG and Pokemon.
Yep.
That makes 60-70% of the stuff coming in is that,
Right. So I'm going to get there. I'm getting there. You're ahead of me. But when the hobby is growing at such a rapid pace, what more could a company like PSA possibly do? They're now injecting $200 million, and their goal is to double in size yet again within 12 to 18 months. Do the math. That means they're going to be capable of grading 3 to 4 million cards per month, not a year, per month. If this $200 million injection works.
Yeah.
I mean, that's insane, the amount of wax that they're putting out in these little tiny holders, and then we pay a ridiculous amount of money because it's got a number on the top that says it's good. It's Teapot has got that right in the sense that we've all lost our minds over grading cards, okay? But it's where we are. It's what we're doing. It is what it is. But then you inject, so not only has Topps and Fanatics 10x the hobby, now you've got Pokemon and TCG absolutely exploding, right? The 2 million cards a month that they're grading, when you look at the amount of cards that they're grading, a lot of those cards are 60% of them are 70% are TCG.
Yeah.
It's not even sports cards that are as big of a problem as it is the Pokemon. Now, why is TCG and Pokemon growing? It's because, in my opinion, Pokemon doesn't have parallels.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a holo and a reverse holo and a foil type thing, but you don't have 30 different variations of the same card. And every card that you can get in Pokemon is the same in an ETB direct from Pokemon or a retail pack that you get at Pick and Save or Festival Foods or Kroger's or whatever your national store is, Meyer Foods, Sam's Club, Costco. You get the same exact cards. There's no hobby exclusives. So it's equal opportunity to hit that big card for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And the multiplier on these cards is insane. Some of these Pokemon cards can be 10, 15, 20, 50x from raw to PSA 10. And they grade higher. If anybody's hasn't or wants to, go check out Neo Cards and Comics. A couple of days ago, he did a video talking about has PSA's gem rate gone down? And he did a really nice job of laying out, really it hasn't. It's dropped a little bit, but a lot of that had to do with the introduction of GameStop sending thousands of cards every month. It's people that are 10xing the hobby that have no idea what they're doing, They're running into GameStop because they don't have a Collectors Club membership. They're throwing it on the counter, and they're grading cards that shouldn't be graded. So that dropped the gem rates down a little bit because you have so many people that don't know what they're doing entering the hobby.
Yeah.
But PSA's grading standards haven't changed really. They haven't tightened it up to where, all of a sudden they're grading worse. You look at Pokemon and TCG cards, and they've actually gone up in the last year, the gem rates. So there's no pop control because look at the populations of some of these Pikachus and Charizards, and it's ridiculous how many. I mean, there's the one Pikachu's got like 30,000 as the population, and it still sells for good money because
I think it's that Van Gogh one. I believe there's thousands of those.
Yeah, and they still bring lots of money. So stop the ranting about PSA. PSA is doing everything they possibly can. Do I like it? No, I hate it. Okay, I liked it a whole lot more. The hobby was more enjoyable for me. I made a whole lot more money when I could turn around submissions in 30 to 60 days. That's where the hobby needs to be for us to be able to fund our PC flipping. It just is, okay? This 8-month turnaround absolutely sucks. 50 card minimum sucks. This is so I've been doing, this is 43 cards. I'm 7 cards short. So I've got to go through and find 7 more cards now. It's absurd how many cards it takes to get to 50 cards just to make one submission. And then to think that, if you submit them now, you're going to get them back around the first of the year. That's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. So you got to think more in advance. Okay. All right. Now, if anybody from PSA is watching, I'm about to give my opinion to PSA on how they can fix these problems. My solutions may not be super well accepted by the sports card community either because it raises some prices. But all right, PSA, if you're watching, a couple of different things we can do to shorten these up. Instead of closing down, I think closing down would be the absolute worst thing for the hobby, the worst thing for PSA. I think they know this, and I don't think that there's any chance of them shutting down. I really don't think so. First of all, temporarily suspend group submitters, including GameStop. When did they get this backlog of cards? About the same time that they started allowing GameStop to send in millions of cards from all over the country. Stop and suspend all group submitters, including GameStop. It doesn't have to be a permanent stop. Temporarily suspend it for 3 to 6 months to allow your collector club members, the people that actually pay a fee to be a member of PSA, so they don't have to have 8 and 10 month turnaround times. Give your collector club members a shorter turnaround time than you're giving the group submitters. That's the first thing to do. Second thing, shut down all submissions for anyone that's not a collectors club member. This is ridiculous to have a collectors club member so we get an $8 discount, right? We get $25 cards instead of $33 cards, but it's 2 months longer, or it's 40 days longer, 30 days longer in a turnaround time because I'm paying you a membership fee. Come on, PSA, you got to do better than that. That is just asinine. It is stupid. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen or heard in my life. People that have no affiliations with you at all get your cards back quicker because they pay an extra $8 a month? No. And all submissions for non-collector club members. That will help clear out your backlog as well. Next, now because you've shut down group submitters so people that don't have collector club members can't go into GameStop, You've shut down submission tiers that aren't Collectors Club members. Now you got us by the short hairs, PSA. Raise your prices on the Collectors Club membership because it now has value. Right now it's $150 for a standard, $199 a year, and you get card ladder. Well, heck, people are paying more than that for market movers, which is similar to card ladder. So really all they're making you do is they're paying a membership fee to get card ladder, which they own. You don't need to water down your Collectors Club membership, PSA. You don't have to make it free for people to join. Give them value, faster turnaround times, and you can only submit, just like it used to be, you can only submit to PSA if you're a member. Then you can raise the Collector Club price membership, double it, triple it, I don't care. Make it $4.99 a year. If it's the only way you can submit to PSA, what are people going to do? They're going to pay the $4.99. This is the dumbest member, this is the worst run. The CEO at PSA, Nat Turner, whoever you have making these decisions, you need to fire their ass now because they are dumb as can be. They are stupid. This is basic economics. You don't have to be smart to figure this out, PSA. Reach out to me at any time. I'll solve your freaking problems. All right? Now, you have no group submitters. You have no, right now, shut down temporarily. You have no way to submit unless you're a Collectors Club member. You now raise the prices so you're getting more for the Collector Club members, right? This is going to drastically reduce the amount of cards coming in the door, which is what they're trying to do with raising these prices, right? You're going to make it a premium product because you have to have a membership to grade there. The membership is no longer free because you got to pay $4.99 a year to have something substantial in order to do it. When you get caught back up, you do these things, you fix your problem, you're caught back up in 3 months, 4 months tops. It's not going to take you 8 months to clear out the backlog because you're going to drastically reduce submissions. When you get to where you think you've got a 30 to 60 day, like you're ready to open the pipeline back up, then you can open it back up to the GameStops of the world and the group submitters, but stop giving group submitters discounted prices. That is asinine. Why would you allow non-Collector Club members to go and join other non-Collector Club members and get cheaper rates and faster turnaround times? You're destroying your brand. That is dumb, PSA. Stop it. Stop it now. Group submitters are a good thing. They are a great thing for business. I'm not saying you got to end group submitters. Raise the prices on group submitters. Flip-flop it. Make the $33 a card for group submitters for people that are not Collector Club members. If you want to do a group submission and you're a Collector Club member, group submitters can have 2 different submissions. You have to prove you're a Collectors Club member to get the lower rates and the group submissions. Then that's fine. You want to do a bulk rate for Collector Club members through group submitters, that's fine. But they got to prove that they're a Collectors Club member to get it. Make the $33 a card for the GameStops and these for the people that don't have the membership. And make it hurt. Make it hurt. The turnaround times for non-Collector Club members should be 60 days longer than it is for Collectors Club members. Even when you're back humming and you're turning cards around in 60 days, make it 120 days for non-Collector Club and group submitters that are non-Collector Club members. It adds value to your brand. You can charge more and you're going to stay caught up. It's simple economics, PSA. I am on a rant and I'm on a roll here. So now they get caught back up. They can do this. They flip-flop. They charge more and have longer turnaround times for non-Collector Club members. Supply and demand sets the dollar amount for turnaround times and everything else. Why are TCG cards the same cost as sports cards? Again, Nat Turner, fire somebody's ass. They are stupid and costing you a ton of money. TCG cards should cost more to grade because of supply and demand. They're 2 to 3 times more volume than they are sports cards. So charge more for it. It's costing you business. Charge more for TCG, even for Collectors Club members. It should be higher cost because of supply and demand. There's a higher demand, you can charge a greater amount. Does any of this make sense?
Yeah, that definitely does.
Am I preaching to nobody here? I don't know. PSA, I hope you're listening. Listen to me. You will solve all your problems. You'll get caught back up. You'll make more money, and the hobby will be happy. Not everybody's going to be happy because I'm saying raise prices, raise Collector Club memberships. But I pay $4.99 a year for my market movers. Would I pay $4.99 for PSA if I knew that nobody other than me could submit to PSA? Hell yeah. You don't need to give away a free card ladder with a submission. Just make it so that your membership actually means something. Get a grip, PSA, get a grip. All right. What to do now that turnaround times are 8 months for bulk? You got to have 50 cards. So either you have to be a high volume guy, or you're going to have to use a group submitter, or you're going to have to partner with your friends, right, to come up with 50 cards. And then when you do partner with your friends, or you do go to GameStop, or you do find a group submitter, it's 8 months. I talked to the guy at the local GameStop, and he assured me that they're still running roughly 3 to 3.5 months on turnaround times.
That's what I was told a few days ago also.
So am I. Are people dumb? Of course they're running 3-month turnaround times. They haven't had the injection of the new program where it's 8 months. They just made that cutoff different. So if you look at, so I've got 9, right now I have 9 submissions sitting at PSA. The last 3 came after the new turnaround times. And even though I'm running 2.5 months right now is my average for the last 6 months. I'm running it's about 70 days from the time that it leaves my hand to the time it comes back in my hand. 70 to 80 days. Not work business days, like actual calendar days. My 3 latest are showing December for projected turnaround times. I assure you GameStop is running 3 months turnaround now. Give it 60 days and they're going to be running 6-month turnarounds. They aren't going to have any better chance of doing this than anybody else. I don't think. I could be wrong, but
I think the GameStop stuff all goes to, they've got graders spread out in different places. I think the GameStop goes to one location. I believe it's in New Jersey, and that's all that they're doing is the GameStop submissions and nothing else.
Yep. Oh no, that's not true.
Oh really?
Oh, they're New Jersey's humming with everything, but the GameStop. So from what my understanding, talking to the guy at GameStop, east of the Mississippi goes to New Jersey, west of the Mississippi goes to California.
Okay.
But they're not doing exclusively GameStop. It sounds like they are doing anything and everything, just like all of them. All right, so what to do with 8-month turnaround times? First of all, these Tops Now plays that we've been making a ton of money on over the last 2, 3, 4 years, they're dead. Tops Now plays are dead. You can't buy Tops Now cards anymore. Send them in for a group for a submission, wait 8 months and expect to be able to make a profit. And if you do make a profit, it's going to be $5 or $10 a card. You're not gonna double or triple your money like we were doing. So base cards, high volume Tops Now cards, basically anything under, I would say anything under $50 a card is dead right now in terms of your 8-month options. you're better off to, if you're going to do that cheap, you want to do the 8-month turnarounds, you got to go with retired players. Players that cards aren't going to fluctuate in value in the next 8 months. Or you have to plan for 8 months in advance. So right now, if it really is going to take 8 months, you should be buying baseball and submitting baseball so you get it back in January and February in time for next baseball season. So you got to think 8 months in advance. So that means May and June are baseball prospecting months. You want all your prospects sent in by the end of June so you get them back by February. You with me?
Yeah.
Then July and August are going to be basketball months. Any players that you think teams that are going to make a run to the finals next year, like you can see the huge spikes right now in Shea and Wemby cards and Jay Brunson cards. Those guys, their cards are going nuts. So the teams that you think have a good playoff shot, you're going to be buying those cards. The rookie cards are going to be out because the draft is going to happen by then. There's going to be rookie cards. Players that you think are going to make an impact and could be on a playoff team for next year, those are the cards you're buying in June and July. You're sending in, you'll get them back around April or May of next year, which is the time that you want to be selling for playoffs. So you just got to be thinking in advance. So right now, May and June, baseball. June and July, basketball. Then you get into September, October, even November. That's football. You're going to get them back in July of next year. So that's really your window now, is you're looking at buying baseball now for spring, basketball this summer for next spring, later spring. Then you're buying football this fall for the following training camp for August.
What about like Bowman first college football quarterbacks that you think are going to get drafted? Like I've been buying, like this Darian Mensah, who went to Miami. I see him as a potential first round pick, so I was planning on getting those sent off on my next order that I do.
Yeah, that's fine because you'll get them back around the first of the year if they're in bowl games.
Yeah,
it'll be perfect timing for bowl games. If it's not for bowl games, you're still going to get them back in plenty of time for the draft next year. So really, you've got from now until probably October to buy the players that you think you want to have for that football draft of next year. So you got a little longer runway with college football right now. You can buy the next 4 months and have them graded and back in time for the draft of next year.
Yeah.
So hope that's my play for how you handle the 8-month turnaround. Now, I got a lot of questions with PSA's turnarounds and their raised prices. Is BGS, CGC, or SGC an option? The answer is they can be. Your returns are going to be lower, but your turnarounds will be a little bit quicker. I told Bo this. My tops now draft night cards. I bought 4 different players. Mendoza I sent to BGS at the 30-day, $35 a card to get those back quicker. I want to be first to market with those. The other 3 players I sent at the $18 level, that's a 75-day turnaround. I should get those back right around the start of the NFL season, and that should be fine to get those back. I'm going to need some black labels in order to get enough profit to make this work, because if any 9s that you get, even at $18 a card, you're losing money. They're not going to sell for $18 in a BGS 9. My guess is the BGS 9s are probably going to sell for around $8 to $10 a piece. It costs you $18 to grade it, so you're going to lose $10 a card on your 9s. I think the BGS 9.5 will probably sell in that $25 to $30 range. So you might break even on a 9.5. You might make $5, maybe $10 if a player gets hot on the 9.5s. The 10s, if you get any gold 10s, those you're probably going to double your money on. And the black label 10s, you're going to 3, 4, 5x your investment. So you're going to need some gold label 10s, and you're going to need some black label 10s out of your submission to make BGS a viable play, but it is possible. Same with CGC. In our Discord, for those that are interested, click on the UPC. What is that thing up in the corner? That's not a UPC. I'm dating myself. The little code.
Yeah. I forget.
Scan the code at the top. Yeah, scan the code in the top. You can join our Discord. Ask us, message us. You can join our Discord. There is some incredibly knowledgeable guys in there. There's a lot of guys with all different types of experiments going on, and we share. If you're not part of our Discord, I don't know what you're doing. You're costing yourself money. It's free of charge. Our Discord is free. Join it for no money at all. And all these questions you can get answered by some very good guys in the hobby. There are a few guys right now that are using CGC, and they're getting their cards turned around in a shorter period of time. The 9s basically are free because you can't give a CGC 9 away for nothing. But when you get the 10s, my understanding, are selling relatively well. Is that correct, Bo?
I've sold CGC 9s of like the AJ DeBonsa Tops Now card for $20, but the grading is only 10. So, and then their fee is way lower than eBay. So I might be losing $1 or breaking even, but I've done fairly well with what I've sold on there. Like I've sold the 10 for $70, a CGC 10, and they're fast. I made the mistake of originally sending a bunch of cards straight to CGC and paying their normal price. And then I saw that on Fanatics Collect, it's $10, which is half of what they have going through CGC. And it's way faster. It's all in Oregon, so there's no sales tax on anything. And that's kind of where I'm just, I made a lot of Tops Now buys before all this stuff started happening with PSA. So I've still got stuff coming in the mail. Like I had these JJ Weatherholts come in today. And at least half of that, probably more than half of that, is going to the Fanatics vault through CGC. They've been taking about 3 to 4 weeks, and it's done.
So maybe if you want to do those Tops Now plays, maybe CGC is a place that you can do that. Why don't, for those that have no idea what you're talking about, explain to our viewers how you would go about doing that. Do you need a Fanatics Collect membership? Do you need what do you explain to the people that are watching so they know what you're talking about?
I believe it's the same sign-in that you would sign in for like a Fanatics membership, but it's free.
Okay.
And then they got the Fanatics Collect website. And then so you set up your account. I think you set up your Stripe thing so they can pay you whenever you make sales. And then there's a submission button, and you click the submission button. On PSA, you have to list every single card individually. On CGC, be like, I've got 5 Tops Now, Otani's number 77. Just kind of just basic little thing in the paragraph box. And then you hit the submit, print out the packing slip that you will submit when you mail them to Portland or to Oregon. You're actually mailing it to your name, and they give you a number that represents you. So when it shows up in Oregon, like, okay, this is the submission from Bo Rogers. And then it all, once the cards are, I believe their graders are there on site, and that's why they're faster. I have a feeling that when the word gets out on this, that it's going to start slowing down because they're way faster going through them than going through CGC directly. And it's cheaper. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I think for cheaper cards, especially if you think that they're going to gem. I was telling you, I think the last show we had, that about 65% of my submissions have gotten the CGC Pristine, which it's not as great as the Beckett Black Label, but it's still, better than just a basic 10. And so the Tops Now stuff does grade well with that stuff. Like I've got $500 in my account right now, and I've got, I think, 20 cards that are about to pop. And then I probably just use the money in the account to pay that grading, and then just, keep steamrolling it. But I've been real happy with it.
All right, so there's another way for you guys to make money. You can use if you want to try CGC for faster turnarounds, you can watch your account grow. You can use your money from the cards that you sold to pay for your next submission fees, and you can, whatever dollar amount you started with, you'll know how well you're doing by watching that account grow. So
I highly recommend using the Fanatics Vault instead of just CGC in general. That's the trick.
So there you go, guys. Value added here by Bo with some CGC plays. Next is Ohtani or Wemby holds or sells right now. What's your opinion?
Well, I had 3 Wemby rookies that I was planning on selling during the playoffs. I sold 2 of them already. And then the third one, I just told myself, if they beat Oklahoma City, I'm going to sell the third one. If they don't, I'm going to hold it. I made decent profit off of the 2 that I have sold. But I was telling my mom does not like Wembanyama at all, because she's big time Thunder fan. I mean, she gets into it, man. But I told her, like, he's only the greatest basketball player in the world right now.
Yeah.
And he's just he kind of looked like crap last night, though. I mean, the Thunder have figured out ways to slow him down. But he's going to probably have a major game on tomorrow night. But if you hold it, you still got shots of this thing shooting to the moon some more.
For those conspiracy theorists that believe that the NBA is rigged, if you are correct, and you might well be, I'm not saying that you're not. Everybody is saying it's going to go to Game 7. Wemby's going to have a monster Game 6. Spurs are going to win, and then OKC wins it in 7. It's a close game. Wemby's time isn't quite yet. He made a catapult this year to get him to the finals. All the conspiracy theorists are saying that next year will be Wemby's year to finally win his title, but they want to get OKC another one this year. We'll see if that happens, but that could very well be the case. But I think that if Wemby shows out good in Game 6, plays decent in Game 7, and they lose, I think you'll see his stuff soften a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a catastrophic fall like a lot of the other cards typically do. Mm-hmm. I think you could see De'Aaron Fox cards take a big hit. I think Castle could take a hit. Harper's cards could take a hit in the offseason, but I don't think Wembanyama's dip much. I think he is in the realm right now of like Ohtani, where it's just safe. If they dip, they're going to dip 5 or 10%, not 20%, 30%. And then they're going to climb again next year because all the hype. If they don't win this year, but they show out and go to Game 7, all the hype is going to be on the Spurs for next season. On this is their year. And the Wemby, I think Wemby prices start high and they just climb all next year. So I have sold, with as high as his market has gotten, I have sold all of my Wembanyama cards except one silver that is in my PC. That card will not get sold probably till the day I die, and my kids can do whatever they want with it. but I've sold all my other ones. I don't have any Wemby cards left. I've profited big on them. If they beat OKC, his stuff is going to take another leap, and it's going to go just catastrophically huge. Like his stuff could double again from where they're at now. Like you're seeing PSA silver sell for $3,300 to $3,500.
Mm-hmm.
It could be $5,000 to $7,000 if they beat OKC. I could see it just going like that. However, I think you're going to see, that 3,300 is about where the silver is right now. If they lose, I think you see the silver settle back down into that $2,600 to $2,800 range in the offseason. That would be my prediction or my best guess. And then they'll climb next year up to the playoffs. And I think by the playoffs next year, you could see his silvers $4,000 plus. So I think they'll be a good investment long term if you want to hold on to them. But I do think you're going to see a little bit of a dip. I do think OKC wins in 7.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we're at. As far as Ohtani goes, Ohtani is pitching unbelievable, but he ain't hitting for crap this year. He's very average with his hitting. If he can get his hitting to come around to match his pitching, I think you'll see his cards rise again. Right now, they're pretty flat, flat to a 5% dip. So I think that's where he's going to stay until he starts to hit the ball. His pitching last year, his hitting kept his cards high. This year, his pitching is keeping his cards high. If he has another season where he puts both sides together, you could see his stuff go up some more. So if you have Ohtani stuff now, if you need to get out of it, you can. But I think you can hold and hope for him to start hitting for his prices to go back up. That's where I'm kind of at with Ohtani.
They're probably still the favorite for the World Series too. If you've got
they have too much salary at this point for them not to be the favorites, even with them struggling a little bit.
I'm more worried about what if there's a strike next year, how much that's going to hurt baseball stuff in general, because it looks like it might be almost inevitable of it happening. But we'll see.
Yeah. If there's a strike, I don't think Ohtani stuff is affected much.
Right. I mean, I think Ohtani and Wemby are the two biggest superstars on in the whole, throw Messi in there too,
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Next question. Do breaks make more sense now that it is almost impossible to buy hobby or jumbo boxes direct from Topps? My answer to that is no. I don't like breaking. If you want to blow some money and take a chance and you got a little bit of discretionary income and you want to do it for fun, go right ahead. But if you're trying to acquire inventory to grade and flip, you are going to lose in the long run doing breaking. It's not in your favor.
Yeah.
I don't mind breaking if people want to do it and they have the money and they're doing it for fun and entertainment. Great. If you're doing it as a strategy to try and get cards to flip, that's suicide. It's financial suicide.
Yeah.
So you're really regulated to retail boxes at this point because the breakers are buying up all the product. 1% of the hobby is getting a little taste at these EQL things. They let 1% of the product go so a few people can say they got it, and then everything else goes to the breakers. I don't see that changing anytime soon. It's how Topps and Fanatics wants to operate. So there's nothing we can say or do that's going to change it. Boycotting isn't going to help because the breakers are buying it anyways. If you really want the hobby to come back to have the opportunity to buy hobby and jumbo boxes again, everybody in the world needs to stop buying into breaks. If everybody just cold cut stopped buying into breaks for the next 6 months, breakers would go out of business. and hobby boxes and jumbo boxes would become affordable again.
Yeah.
The problem with that is the whole ecosystem would crash because breakers right now are what's propping up the hobby with the resale values, because not only are they breaking new product, they're also breaking repacks. So our whole hobby and everything that we're doing, we can buy and flip because of the demand of breakers. So if you did away with breakers, you could get hobby and jumbo stuff again, but it wouldn't be nearly as fun because there wouldn't be the demand on the other side. So it's a very delicate ecosystem. I'm not anti-breaking. I just wish that they would. I wish that Tops and Fanatics would say, all right, we're going to print 4 million boxes of these cards. 2 million of them go to breakers. 2 million of them go to general public. Limit 1 box or 2 boxes per person. So one guy can't go in and buy them all, and then you see them at the show flipping for 2 to 3 times. There's a way for them to fix that as well. They just need to limit the amount of stuff. Breakers can afford to buy the product on the secondary market. If a hobby box is $700, breakers can pay $1,500 on the secondary market and still be profitable.
Yeah.
You and I can't. So if they want to appease the collector part of the hobby, they need to limit the number of boxes that breakers and robots and all these bots can get, and then have a decent amount of supply for the general public. Limit it so that you can't have one guy going and buying a bunch of boxes to flip. And then that makes it a much healthier ecosystem for buying.
Yeah, I entered 2 breaks this past month, and it was both of them were just for fun. And I did a Bowman basketball, and I bought Madison Booker, and I got like 2 base cards and then 10 of those paper ones.
Yeah.
So I got a bunch of crap basically. Yeah. But I did a Baltimore Orioles on Bowman baseball because of, and I hit this fancy Wahiwa Aloy, he was SEC Player of the Year last year out of Arkansas. But it looks great, but it's got this little print line going all the way across the bottom of it, so I'm probably not going to grade it. But I was like, wow, I got a big hit out of a break. And I'm like, oh, hell, it's a messed up card.
That sucks. Next question. Does flipping wax seem like a good idea since grading is dead? Well, grading isn't dead. Grading is changing. We have to change how we're going to go about grading cards. Flipping wax is a great idea if you can get your hands on product. The problem is that we just talked about the previous with the previous question that viewers had. You can't get your hands on it. I've had now 11 EQLs in a row, and it says I didn't get it. And every time it says it increases my chances with the next one. That's total bogus and BS. 11, and I haven't been able to get a single product. I even thought that I went for this Marvel product or whatever it was last week that released, or Disney. I don't even remember what Disney or whatever. Disney, thinking that won't have the demand that everything else does. So they're going to give me my EQL on a product I don't really care about. I couldn't even get that EQL. It's like, it's ridiculous. So flipping sealed wax, yes, if you can get it, it's a great way to get some income flowing. Getting your hands on the product is really the hardest thing to do.
Yeah. I lucked out and got 8 boxes of that Star Wars Smuggler's Outpost that they did. And I made bank off of those. I actually kept one. I weighed every box after I got them all. And there was one that was significantly heavier than all the rest of them. And I just kept that one. I don't know. I'm probably not going to open it, but it's tempting me to want to open it.
It's got a memorabilia card in it of some sort.
Yeah, they have these like thick metal cards. I think that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
But I think on Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, that Topps Chrome Marvel Comics comes out, and I'd like to try to buy a case of that because I think the Marvel stuff's going to shoot to the moon this year and next year with all the big blockbuster movies coming out.
Yeah, I think Marvel is an area that's going to take off as well. But
I'd much rather invest in that than Pikachu.
Yeah. All right. The last question is really kind of a repeat of one of the other ones. How is anyone going to make money now that costs are raised to grade and extended turnaround times to 8 months? We've kind of answered that one before. You just have you have to adapt. Okay. I know a lot of us don't like change. Change is difficult. Change is evil, but change is necessary if you're going to continue to make profits. I'm not going to share what's going on in my life right now, but I was telling Bo, I have some life things going on right now that are drastically affecting my ability to do cards to the point where it may come to, at some point in time here in the near future, I may need to take a break for a short period of time until all that stuff gets squared away in my life. But if you want, every year I've done this, I've made money. Okay. And that dates back, I don't know how long I've been doing this, 25 or 30 years. There's always a way to make money. You just have to look for the opportunities. Stop being negative and stop complaining about what once was that is no longer, and look for where the opportunities are at and embrace the opportunities, and you will continue to make some money in this hobby. So maybe that's using Fanatics Collect and CGC. Maybe it's flipping wax. Maybe it's flipping singles raw. Years ago, before grading became so popular, that's what we did in the hobby. We flipped raw. You'd buy a card, you'd hold it, and you'd flip it raw. You either have to wait for somebody to do something great for their cards to have a spike in their value, or you have to buy in the off season and sell during the peak season. You can buy, like right now, you can still buy football cards relatively reasonably, and they're gonna go up in value between now excuse me, and the start of the season. They just are. They might not go up a ton, whether it's a graded card or a raw card. They might go up 10%. Now, if you're using eBay and they're charging 13%, you lost 3% when you get a 10% up, so you got to be careful. But you can flip cards raw. You can still grade cards if you think 8 months out. I personally am doing a little bit of everything. So as you can see, I'm putting together a 50 card submission that is going to get mailed off here within the next week. So I'm planning, these are almost all baseball. So these are, a crap ton of Otanis and stuff like that. But it's almost all baseball. Some Andrew Fisher, some Ethan Holidays, just a ton of baseball. It's going to be a 50 card bulk submission of baseball, because I'm going to get it back around the first of the year, according to the 8-month turnarounds. And I'm going to be ready for spring. And I'm going to have 50 cards that I'm going to make bank on coming in spring. I'm going to buy football cards that I'm going to plan on flipping at or around the National. I'm still buying football. I'm still buying cards to grade, raw to grade, but I'm thinking about it with what I'm buying right now. What do you want to buy that you can grade 8 months out? Or what I'm really doing is I'm focusing on cards that are $50 to $300 raw, and I'm taking the cards at regular service level, and they're 30 days, get the car back, and you can take a card that's $250 and get a 10 if you've got a 3 to 4x multiplier from raw to PSA 10. That $250 card becomes a $1,000 card. You only got to do that once a month to make $700 a month, which takes place of selling 50 graded cards that you used to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
the margins go up when you do that, so you don't have to sell as many. When you take the amount of money that you had tied up in all of the cards and all of the grading fees that you were trying to turn on a 30 or a 60-day basis, for most people it's $500 to $1,500. So if you take that same $500 to $1,500 and you buy $50 to $250 cards that have huge multiplier PSA 10 multipliers, and you turn that every 30 days, you only got to sell 8 or 10 cards compared to selling 50 cards to make the same profit margins.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been, I think that one of the tricks right now is to go with higher quality, bigger cards and less quantity, and I think paying, for the faster grading on that is, like I got this, I've got a Quinshon Judkins Kaboom coming in the mail, like I think in a few days. And I thought, that could be a good one to flip for NFL. And I got the orange Hannah Hidalgo auto and this refractor Franklin Arias. He's tearing it up in the minors right now. But I think that might be a good way to go about it, is just pay a little bit more for your grading and less cards. You don't have to have 50 of them. If you've got, I'm maybe even going with like $500 cards or stuff that, a little bit higher than that. Even I finally got that Jesus Madej I bought. It hasn't shown up yet, but that's going to be one that I'll, do the more expensive grading on to get it back quicker.
I did get my blue X-Fractors back in the mail yesterday. I took all of my doubles that I had. I'm trying to put an X-Fractor set together.
Oh,
I'm still old school. I love collecting and putting sets together. So I'm working on a base set. I'm working on an X-Fractor set. And all of my doubles I went and sent in. So there were 46 cards from when I ripped that case last year. And there were 46 of them, and I sent them in. And I didn't realize that the Wembanyama, which if I'd have realized this, I would have sent in, because I've got 5 of these. I would have sent more than one. Though, did you realize that this X-Fractor, it's a third-year Wembanyama, it's a blue X-Fractor, they're selling for $75 raw?
Yeah.
Raw.
Yeah.
I couldn't. The regular X-Fractor is not selling for anywhere near that. So I
have one of those. I have one of those through Nash Cards right now.
A blue X-Fractor?
Mm-hmm. I actually had I think I've got 4 orders in with them, and I was double checking them yesterday, and there was one that I mailed in on April 7th that is in assembly right now. The other 3 are still in research and ID, but some people are talking them up like they're the solution right now. I don't know. I haven't seen it firsthand, but I'm trying to, I'll report back on it, actually how quick it is.
Yeah. So I've got to give you an idea of mine. So right now I have a 20 card bulk Pokemon order. None of them are mine. They're all from a couple of friends of mine that I helped submit for. Submitted on March 10th. That is still in research and ID. I have a bulk sports card order submitted on April 7th, 21 card bulk sports card order. Submitted on April 7th. It's in grading. I've got a 22 card bulk sports card order submitted on April 22nd in research and ID. I've got a 1 card LeBron refractor, chrome refractor. It's a 3rd year LeBron James Topps Chrome refractor. Submitted April 14th. It's in Q&A. I've got a 2-card order. Wayne Gretzky rookie and a Jackson Dart orange, numbered to 9. Submitted May 4th, and it is already in assembly. Then I've got an order that a 21 card bulk order submitted on May 14th. Research and ID, one submitted on May 28th. Order arrived. I'm sorry, May 28th, 26th. Gosh, I need my reading glasses. May 26th. The 6s look like 8s without my reading glasses. May 26th arrived. So that one just arrived there yesterday and they checked it in. And then I've got, for a friend of mine, I've got a 2-card order. I've got a Bobby Witt Super Refractor 1 of 1.
Oh, wow.
And a Wembenyama Bowman Rose Gold numbered to 15. Sent those in regular order on May 20th, and they are already in assembly.
So the more pricey stuff, they're getting through it quite a bit quicker.
Yeah, quite a bit quicker. So
you have a Tyler Shuck downtown that's been in assembly for like 3 weeks now, but
yeah, I mean, that's eight days for that regular order, 8 days from the day that submitted it, and it's already in grading and assembly.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that stuff is moving pretty quick.
Yeah.
So you just got to go bigger dollar items, you know?
Yep. I think that's what we do in this, period of time when
if you're going smaller dollar items, maybe you take a look at doing the 10, 20-day turnaround with CGC and Fanatics Collect.
Mm-hmm.
If it's $10 a card, kind of almost can't get burned on that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, you got anything else?
One thing. I'll just show you this just for fun. I bought a couple of these from Costco. It's the Don Russ soccer boxes, and then that you get one big jumbo kaboom in each box. And I opened one last night with my mom. I didn't really get anything all that great, but when I got the kaboom,
it's messy.
I hit the big messy, and then I looked on eBay, and these things are selling for like $250. So I've got to buy the sleeve and the top loader for it, and I haven't figured out exactly what to get yet. I was looking last night on the internet. I'm like, I got to get something to put that in. And
BCW Supplies has them.
They're I think they're the 5x7.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I wasn't quite sure. I needed to measure it and go do that. But hell, I might flip that messy during the World Cup. I mean,
heck yeah.
I kind of want to keep it, but people have been hitting the kaboom cards out of those boxes. And I think that the only way you can get them is through Costco. They're a fun rip.
So here's an idea for you. Put it in a one touch, a 5x7 one touch or something. Bring it to the National and exchange it for a standard site. Throw in a couple $100 to boot, and trade somebody at the National your oversized kaboom for a regular kaboom.
Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. I think the regular ones are like $2,000.
Well, I said a couple bucks, Yeah. Gotta throw in a few bucks.
When I was opening it up, I was like, okay, it's got to be the Lamine Yamal or the Messi. And then I went, I see Lionel on the back right when I opened it. I was like, yeah. Sometimes you can have some fun ripping.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and those are relatively cheap, aren't they? Like,
I think they were like $55.
What's that?
I think it was $55 a box.
Yeah, I thought they were right around $50. So
yeah. I don't have a Costco within like 100 miles of me, but I've never, but I just have this stuff sent to me. I'd like to go to the one in Tulsa sometime and actually get the card and everything.
All right. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A session this week. Sorry there weren't more plays, but if you guys want any more questions answered, continue to reach out to me. Maybe we'll do this a little more often. Maybe we'll add a couple people to the panel to get some more opinions. I hope PSA was watching and reaches out to me. That would be great. And until the next time, we'll see you in a couple weeks.